broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the after show for ABC's Blood and Oil. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and tonight next to me, my lovely co-hosts are here, all dressed up in black. Hello, ladies.
Hello, hello. I'm Lauren Salaun, and you can find me on Twitter at Lauren Salaun.
Hey everyone, I'm Annika Michelle, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Annika Michelle1. Thanks for joining us.
Woo. We're excited to be here, so we got dressed up to celebrate. This show has had such a glossy ad campaign. It looks very rich and wealthy, so we decided to join in on that. And we're in our new studio space here, too, so we're celebrating that as well. Let's get into the show. I want to go over first impressions overall. We both watched it for focus. We all watched it. What did you think? What were your first impressions?
I liked it a lot. I mean, I love like all things country and kind of the South and stuff. So it was super fun to watch from that regard. I think there were some moments that were a little cliche and some of the lines and stuff. Mm-hmm. But overall, I enjoyed it. And I think we're in for a really fun season. Like lots of drama, real sexy show.
I liked it overall. I'm not gonna lie, this is not usually the kind of genre of show I watch, and Chace Crawford might have convinced me to watch it because I did watch Gossip Girl, so I'm like, oh, let me see what he's doing now, kind of thing. And so I think a lot of people are kind of in that same situation where they're like, he's on a TV show, let me watch it now, because he hasn't really done much like a big TV show since then, but. I liked it, even though it's not my genre kind of thing. I still enjoyed it, and like she said, you can tell in the previews that it's going to be a lot of drama coming up.
Yeah,
a lot of scandal.
I liked it. I like a good drama. I like over the top kind of glitz and glam. So I was expecting a little bit more. I thought it would be maybe a little more soapy than it was. But I like to see like that aspirational lifestyle of these rich people, and of course it was kind of juxtaposed against this new couple who's coming in, and we'll talk about them and kind of the not so glamorous life they lived, or as they started out. And I like it. I think it's going to be a good watch. So let's talk about the different characters that were part of the show. First, of course, we're introduced to Billy and Cody, husband and wife. I believe they're coming from Florida. That's what I read anyway. I don't think that was referenced in the show, but they're coming up with this idea of opening up a laundromat. Mm-hmm. Total different change from what we were expecting, like thinking it's an oil show. Right away, that's something different, and that clearly gets turned on its head as we saw. I want to point out that from my perspective, the female Cody seemed to be pretty easygoing when it came to her husband and all these big dreams he had. She never really got really angry with him, especially in the beginning with everything. She just kind of kept rolling with the punches. Did you catch that?
I think I saw that too. She puts a lot of faith in him and lets him, supports his dreams and these things. And I would hope that there's some, reason, that he's done a good job of that in the past, and these big risks have, proved successful before. But I think we also see later throughout the episode that she's got a lot of smarts in there too, overhearing that guy in the pharmacy talking about the land, and then she's like, oh, hey, let's get on this. So I think she's got a lot of brains in the operation too, but, is willing to kind of stand by his side and do these risky things to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I agree, and I also think that I have to say, obviously they have hair and makeup team and stuff, but they both looked great. Like they tumbled out of this truck, and it's like she had this little cut, and she still looked flawless. I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny you said that, because when they're in that like campground type hotel or whatever, I was like, dang, her hair looks so good after being like, you know, they're like backpacking now for 3 days or
whatever.
Where are they
washing their hair?
I noticed that too.
And she like
so fresh.
Slept with makeup on. She had the eyeliner going, and she was like sleeping, and Chace is like cuddling her. I was like, all right, hold on, I don't even like the what?
And everyone's always wearing such cute lingerie.
Yeah, a lot of stuff on those little
like
backpacks.
that on a road trip.
Yeah. You'd think they pack the essentials, but for them, maybe that's a big part of their life.
Yeah.
I wanted to see her, and we did see a moment towards the end, and we'll get to it, but I just wanted to see her get a little bit more frustrated with him because he kept putting her in these lousy situations. I mean, how do they know if that patchwork hotel or motel would be a safe place?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, they're taking all their belongings with them, schlepping. They don't know.
They don't know. I mean... Yeah, and like not even that, before they got to the Patchwork Hotel, he hitched her right on the back of a truck with some random guys, 4 guys in the front. Yeah. And he put his pretty wife in the back. Like, granted, he's with her, but still, somebody can knock you out, and there's 4 guys to take your wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where my mind went.
It seems like they're in it together. I mean, obviously they're in it together, but it seems like they've got that kind of, you know, adventurous spirit as a couple. You know, it's not completely him. Like, she's all for going on this new adventure and starting fresh in North Dakota. And so, you know, I think she might have more of the common sense edge or the voice of reason with the couple, but I think she's all for this adventure.
I think that's a good point. I think she kind of balances him out a little bit. Yeah.
They're cute. They're a cute couple.
Yeah. So let's talk briefly about how... Basically, where am I going with this? And let's move on to what the next topic that I want to get into is with the introduction of the Briggs family with Wick and Hap. We saw that there's a dynamic here with their relationship, and basically, I think the quote that says it all is when Hap says, "The next time you make me proud, will be the first." So we've kind of set the bar. Yeah, that really is a low blow.
Rough. Yeah. Especially to your son who's been working for you for God knows how long.
Right.
You know?
I mean, but he does seem like quite a bit of a punk, you know, like showboaty and then not disrespecting like the community with killing that moose and just not really having much regard for, I guess, you know, their family name, which, you know, his dad might be putting too much emphasis on that, but doesn't seem to have too much respect for what's going on, and like he takes the money and you know, their family standing for granted a bit.
Absolutely.
A little cocky.
This has to do with his character, but it also kind of has to do with like that, I guess, sort of relationship. But it's just interesting because like in the previews, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Chace Crawford's character was sleeping with the girl, but then I like with a closer look you can tell it's him that sleeps with the other girl. But like it's just interesting because like you can tell he's kind of out to get. Like, he's obviously jealous that Chace... I mean, Billy. I keep calling him by his real name. You just love him. You just love watching him. I'm like, obviously, you're more used to, like, knowing him as, like, Chace than, like, you know, Billy. But anyway. Yeah. You can just tell, like, there's going to be issues with those two in the show. And...
Oh, yeah. And they set it up early on so obviously, you know, between... Wick and Hap with the whole like he's going to cast his son out and stuff, and then there's going to be this opening for a new son figure, and obviously it's going to end up being Billy, and he literally says that when they're in the car together, like, oh, I wish my boy were more like you. You're like, well, duh, they're going to have this bond, and it's all going to blow up, and jealousy, all this stuff.
He was trying to kill his dad with the gun. Remember? He was the guy with the gun, and then he was like...
Where do you go from there?
Right. And then the cuts, and they're like, did you think that was your son? Did you tell that was your son trying to kill you?
Well, no, the other way around.
Yeah, that's in the dad.
Teaser for next week.
But...
Jumping forward.
Yeah, you can just tell their relationship
is... Their relationship is on the rocks, to say the very least, and quickly, too. I wanted to see a little bit more of the lifestyle that... Wick came from. I want to see a little bit more of the house, like what he has, like what he takes for granted.
Right. Well, I think we saw that a little bit. I mean, when Wick went to the house to meet with Hap, like that property was gorgeous, you know, that house, and they've got that beautiful backyard and all that land, you know. I was like, dang, I want more. I just want to see more. Vacation home like that.
I just want to see more. I want more like big glamorous eye candy in these shows. Right. That's just me.
It did seem like it was, you know, we're at the last straw with their relationship, whereas it would have been nice to see some of those other things that happened, but we saw like, two of them right in the show, like the moose situation and then the accident while they're working in the fields and stuff. Then that $1 million mistake, that was the last straw, and there you go.
Yeah, let's talk about that scene and how Wick was being, an idiot and backed up, and then of course Chace/Billy came in, just kind of like stop everything from happening, and then he got let go. But I thought it was really well executed, and it was a good dramatic scene, great for a pilot. I really like in TV terms.
Right. But still, it was really good. It still like captured you for those few minutes that it was going on. So
I think that was a really well done pilot episode overall, and there was a lot of character introduction, almost a little too many, I thought at one point, but we got a good feeling for where things were going and learning who they were. Another character we met was Darla, Hap's wife, and I love the actress who plays her, so it was really cool to see her.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved her entrance scene coming down the jet. Like, what a nice entrance.
I know, it's so classy
So glamorous.
and fancy and glamorous. She's just, like, beautiful, and, you see where that oil money, what it does, where it's going.
And Wick doesn't really respect her. What does he call her, the bitch? Is that what he called her?
Yeah.
I don't think it's his mom.
No, it's not his mom.
Okay.
It's like probably some like
The
third
stepmom.
or fourth
Yeah.
wife of Hap's. Yeah.
I'm sure.
She is a smart cookie herself, and she's not fooling around. She knows what's happening. Right off the gate, she's like, look, there's some thermal mapping technology coming out, and I'm already all over it.
Right. Yeah, and they're such a power couple, I feel like. And did anyone else feel like they remind you a little bit of Frank and Claire Underwood in House of Cards?
I don't watch
I don't watch that show
Dang
either.
it.
I don't
Anyone,
know.
chat room, anyone, people watching. I felt like they remind me, very different characters, very different show, but that sort of like political, powerful, very almost manipulative and like scheming type of couple who always like looks so good too.
Yeah.
I was like, they remind me of Claire and Frank.
I do love a scheming couple. I'd love a good scheming couple on TV.
Yeah.
So my eye is definitely on her.
Oh, for sure.
She could be the brains of the situation. He might be the muscle. So it's looking that way.
Speaking of the muscle, when we see in that scene with him and Wick out in the field, you see that he's very, he knows that people are watching him and his family and his business and stuff like that. But you also get a very clear taste that like he is not something, he's charming and well-spoken, but not a guy you want to mess with too.
No.
That's very clear, just in a few glimpses.
He definitely made a scene out of that situation because we saw the background actors watching, like the workers, the workers.
I'll watch this. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. He gets so like publicly like shamed and cast out of the family in front of everybody. Ooh, embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not the first time that's happened with him. And I think he even made a reference to that, like, he did this to me again.
Yeah.
You know, when he went to go see
Jules, I believe.
Yeah, he went to go see Jules, and she was like, I feel like you come here when you want something. And he's like, yeah, he did this to me again. So it's like not the first time. Their relationship is up and down, so I'm sure he's like, he'll get over it in a few days, and I'll go back, and this is just what happens.
Yeah, he said it was different this time.
He's like out of the will, out of the business, out of everything. Like, cut off.
I want to see more. I hope that there's some little more like backstory there, like put in throughout. Like I want to dig a little deeper. I get this kid's like a lousy person, and from what we saw ourselves, but I want to see a little bit more of really what kind of like turned that relationship upside down.
Right, and we saw a flashback in the very first scene when Cody and Billy are driving and they crash the car. During that flip of the car, we get a flashback of why they're leaving and their family and support system and all that stuff. So it could set us up for more flashbacks from other characters potentially.
Yeah, if they already went there once. Yeah. Good point.
That's true.
So we want to know what you think of these characters. What are your first impressions? Let us know in the comments below, or if you're in our live chat right now, let us know, and we'll shout it out.
I'm looking at it right now.
We're on it.
You guys out.
Sounds good. Let's talk about cheers and jeers, little highs and lows, little things we noticed in the episode that we applaud or boo, and things that we enjoyed. Little things. How closely are you watching? I'll go first with my cheers. My cheers will go to the casting of Amber Valletta. I love her from Revenge. She played Lydia, and I just thought that character was so good and juicy. I wish we got some more of her. And now we can see more of the actress on this show. She's really going to be, I hope, that scheming, leading lady that I wanted her to be with Conrad on Revenge. So I'm loving seeing her.
Yeah.
Cheers to you, ABC casting. And my cheers goes to a little thing I wanted to see more of. I want to see a little bit more of that Hap's birthday party, a little bit more glamour. There was a great shot of the barn, and they had beautiful chandeliers, but I want to feel like I'm at the party. I want to see a little bit, like, a pan of the lights and someone walking by with a hors d'oeuvre plate. Like, I just want to see a little bit more to really establish that these people have just literally money to burn. And so that's a little harsh, but yes, I want to see more of that. So let's go. Ladies, what are your cheers and jeers?
Well, my cheer goes also to Amber Valletta because she just looks so sharp in her style. So the wardrobe and the styling for her character, I just loved it. I mean, so preppy and like uptight, like, lady clothes.
Age-appropriate chic.
Age-appropriate, but I loved it. Like, she looked so good. And I agree that, her character is, we're going to, like, love her and hate her,
yes.
I think. My jeer, there was a small moment when Cody and Billy are in the patchwork camp hotel, whatever, and there's like a one line of voiceover where she's like, finally, we've found somebody that we can trust, or something like that, about meeting Cass, I think, or Kess and his family. That was just so cheesy.
They don't like any of that.
Like, I think that was the only moment of VO, which was just kind of weird. And can I do another?
Yeah,
cheer?
oh yeah.
Sorry, little negative Nancy over here. But I feel like Wick as the bad guy was a little cliche and kind of, it felt forced a little bit, or like not forced necessarily. Like they were pushing it a little too hard sometimes.
Like the dark clothes, like the shadow shots.
Yeah, it just got so extreme all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this gun and rob my dad. Like, he turned into a bad guy very quickly in a little like cliche way, I think. But that's all. I almost knocked
I
the
like
water
them.
over.
I like them.
Well, I'm glad you had two cheers because I'm having trouble thinking of
Okay,
one,
good.
so you can have one of mine.
Yeah.
My cheers will have to go. Honestly, this is like an overall thing. I have two cheers, so that makes it for two cheers.
Okay.
My two cheers, obviously, like the person who does like wardrobe and styling, like how does everyone look so good in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of like nowhere, and camping and sweating? Like, can you please come with me camping and make me look that good? Thank you. And yeah, just like everyone's style, I loved it. And I feel like everyone I got claps too.
They love it.
I just feel like everyone like fits their like character, And then my second cheers, this is kind of like lame and cheesy, but I liked it. This has to do with the episode, but like when he got money in the end and he came back and gave it to the $50,000 so they can start their restaurant, I was like, okay, I want to see where this goes more, and I really hope that this is not just like a way to write them off. It's like a way to have Billy and Cody somehow involved with the restaurant, or like seeing them or visiting them or helping them, like something, I hope it's not the way to write them off, because I like that. I like them. They helped them out, and now they're like, $50,000, here you go, So I thought that was very nice.
With that, though, I feel like that
was a cheer. That was a good thing.
With that, I feel like that made me nervous. They're like, okay, well, let's do this, and we're gonna buy this house, and I'm gonna give these strangers $50,000.
Right.
Me seeing that, I'm like, you guys have already proven to us you're not very good with managing money.
Oh, no.
So easy, rein it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I hope with that $50K that you're giving him to invest in the restaurant, you're like becoming an investor and gonna get money back.
Yeah.
Don't just give it away as a gift, because you need to figure $1 million is gonna go quickly. I'm sorry.
And it's going pretty fast already. Yeah.
These two need to watch an episode of Shark Tank.
Oh my God.
I mean, come on.
Easy, guys. Easy.
Yeah, no, I want to see more of them. I think that would be a good idea too. Just like add more like friends of theirs, like to build their like relationships there. So, those were our cheers and cheers. So let's move forward and talk a little bit more about the actual, real kind of plot lines that happened in this pilot. There's a lot that happened. I want to go back to Darla, where she pointed out that there was going to be this thermal mapping technology, and she needed to get her hands on these reports before the government did, so she could find out the mineral report or something along those lines. So at the party, she's with this commissioner, very tight with him, and she kind of flirts with him a little bit with the fact of him maybe being a governor and the power that he'd be able to have to do what he wants to do. So she's playing that power move, kind of like your girl in House of Cards, I assume.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So and we quickly see that she did get what she wanted out of that with getting the map, and then of course we see that there's this McCutcheon property or territory or ranch, right? So apparently there was an easement, and there's only one way to this place to get on the Big Bear or something like that.
I think part of the land is on the Native American reservation, so they can't get that land and get the oil. Like the big oil area is under there, but through the McCutcheon property, there's a little area where you can access the oil that's
directly,
supposedly in that area.
There you
through
go.
It. So they're like,
So they think they got to figure it out, and then of course there's this race and this Billy to try to get money. I mean, he doesn't say okay, it's not gonna happen. Like, he just keeps going for it, and he needs $75,000 originally, and then he buys the big backhoe or whatever it was. Something he put himself in a lot of debt very quickly. And then he goes home to his wife, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm pregnant, and this kind of sucks."
Yeah. I saw that coming with the her feeling nauseous, looking at the apartment and stuff, and
But
like
why wasn't she more angry at him for putting him in this situation? I mean, what can you do? I guess at that point.
Well,
It's
because
too
he
late.
keeps giving away money and promising money that they don't have, and they already, borrowed all this money from their family and then wrecked all the washing machines.
Yeah, they're in too deep, I guess. No turning back then. And I get it, their motivation too. They don't want to disappoint their friends and family who did put this investment forth for them. So, yeah.
I like though that at the end of him giving away money, and she's obviously upset at him and stuff like that, that he still went and got the necklace back for her and then put their pictures in it, because I don't think their pictures were in it before, because he's look what's in there. So that was really sweet. You can tell he's caring, and he sees that his wife is obviously upset, who does this, but I thought that was a very sweet move.
And his risks paid off. I mean, getting that tractor for $100K, putting down 10 on it, and then selling it for 75 to someone else. So you're playing with money that you don't actually have, but it ends up working out because he gets that money, and then he's goes to gamble the rest of whatever he needs. He's putting a lot of risks out there, and I think soon he's gonna fall on his butt with those sorts of behaviors. But it worked out for him today.
In the magic of television, right? If you and I tried to do that, it'd be another story, I think. But so that ended up working out pretty well. Of course, there was that big moment of jeopardy with, was he going to get there in time before the Briggs people bought the property, and it worked out. And then of course he starts to build a relationship with the Briggs, and we can see a little bit of their house. I just like to see that stuff.
I know, we like the big
rich,
fancy stuff.
So instant relationship and bond is created. You alluded to it earlier that now he's kind of the son he never had.
Well, after some negotiation and debate, because they come to the table and they're like, "All right, let's see what you've got," and they come to a deal to basically lease the land from them. Some sort of partnership, so that they can both benefit off of what's a gold mine, apparently.
And they're supposed to. They wanted to receive 5% of what they were gonna make on the oil, and I was like, oh, good. See that they're thinking now. It was Shark Tank, but no, then they just settled on what was it, $1 million check?
I think so.
Or was it 1,100? I mean,
1 million
$1,100,000
is what they cashed.
Okay.
Yeah, but come on, you always get a percentage of anything.
Yeah.
Of everything you do that could become bigger down the road.
Right.
Get a percentage, because that $1 million is going to be tiny compared to what they dig up. I have a feeling.
And this is supposed to be an area 10 times larger than the fields in Saudi Arabia. So this is this is no joke. I mean, I'll take 1%.
Right.
I'll just take 1. I'm gonna get 5. So that was kind of interesting that put that out there, and then they didn't go anywhere with it. Usually, I thought in TV, if you're going to put out a figure like that, like usually, like you get something out of it. But maybe they'll come to regret that coming down the pipe.
I think just seeing that the $1 million is a little short-sighted.
Yeah.
For them to take that quick right there,
Yeah, because they needed it, obviously. So, we're going to take this now, then wait and see. Mm-hmm. So
while everything is worked out over at the Briggs estate, Wick is pissed as all hell and figuring out now that he's going to screw his father over by siphoning oil with a rig. And I kind of liked this twist. I was like, all right, he's resourceful.
Right.
He still has the keys. No one was smart enough.
Come on.
Yeah, but I like a good villain on the show.
Yeah, I know, but he's like a jackass. Excuse my language, and he's like, just go get a job somewhere and do it right.
Yeah, I would like to see him have someone on his shoulder. I want to see someone there, kind of talking him through it, maybe an older woman.
Well, I think the old guy that he's teamed up with is going to be that kind of figure for him, kind of continue to push him in that direction.
The dark side.
Yes. And I feel like you said go get a job. I feel like he's never had to get a real job.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He's
being a child.
He's just grown up rich. His dad's been rich. He's grown up rich. He's probably seen his dad go through many wives, like you said, which is another reason why they can't get along. But
well, is it about creating his own business, or is it about getting back at his father and really kind of sticking it to him?
It's about getting back at his dad.
More than anything, I would say.
Not really doing his own thing.
Yeah.
There's much better ways than just siphoning oil.
I know.
Come on.
So that situation didn't work out too well, as we all saw. Another fight, and he didn't. I was hoping he would recognize his son's eyes through the mask.
Yeah. How do you not?
I recognized it, and I didn't birth the child. I knew
45 minutes into the show. Yeah.
Staring him in the eyes, and you don't see who it is. I mean, my kind of philosophy, anytime you get this is going to happen, because it's not. Anytime you get in a fight with somebody wearing a ski mask or something, rip it off so you know who the heck it is.
And the holes were bigger. It's not just the eye. Yeah. It was pretty far down, so you should be able to see. You should be able to know.
Prank my parents with a ski mask. Not rob them or anything. Or break into the house. I'll get shot. But
just as a test,
prank them. Be
test.
Who am I?
Do you know
come
me?
Come on, I feel like that's pretty obvious. You should know that.
That's a real soap trope right there. That's typical, and then he'll probably have flashbacks of the night, and then he'll be like, "Oh my God, it's you! It's you behind the mask." So
I recognize those eyes?
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. And I mean, what a cool shot though towards the end where they had the spark, or at that place the ash come down to the floor.
That was badass.
I like when they fight in the oil. It's real, really over the top. Those are the moments that I like. Yeah.
Of course, they're wrestling in the oil.
Right.
Yeah.
That's of course where he fell. Yeah.
Yeah. Typical. So that fire caught quickly. So we'll have to see. Is everyone going to be all right? What's happening? Because really, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near a puddle of oil with sparks flying.
Yeah.
That goes fast.
Yeah. So what the hell are you going to do? So,
yeah.
Very interesting. I read the pilot script to this show, and it's a little different, and it kind of alluded to things that are to come, and it ended kind of in a different way. So it's if you have a chance to take a look at it, it's interesting. You can get a little bit of a kind of a look into the future, and perhaps or where things change. There were certain characters that were in the original pilot that weren't in the show, including the daughter. So Wick's sister. Okay. And she seems to be quite the little environmentalist. So that'll be interesting, and we're going to get a look at her next week.
Yeah, I think we see her next week.
Mm-hmm. So let's take this moment and move on to some news and gossip.
Oh, juicy.
So I have two different kinds of news and gossip for you guys. The first one, it actually came out just a few hours ago. Entertainment Tonight had interviewed Chace Crawford and asked him why he chose, since Gossip Girl, because like I said, he hasn't really done a TV show since Gossip Girl was on. And so they asked him, why did you choose this show to come back to? And he said, honestly, I read the pilot, and that was the best pilot I have read since Gossip Girl. Like, I guess other people have obviously been trying to book him on stuff, and he said no to him. And so he's coming. So he's like, this convinced me right away. I said, I want to be part of this. I want to do this. So he was excited to come on. He was excited that they asked him to come on. And for everyone watching Gossip Girl, obviously Ed Westwick is in another show too. So they asked him, like, are you happy that you guys are both gonna like be doing a show at the same time again, but not the same show? And he's like, oh, I just ran into him downstairs. We were just chatting. Like, this is so funny, you know?
Shows, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. It was cool that, like, he obviously wanted to be a part of this once he read the pilot, and he was like, oh, I really want to do this, and then he got it, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool. And then my second thing of news and gossip, which I just played for these two before the show started, I guess the cast went to karaoke. And I think his real name is Scott M. Forster. That's what his like Instagram is. It's so I can't connect right now. But anyways, the guy playing
Wick.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
Wick and Jules.
Jules. They went and sang Moulin Rouge in karaoke together.
Yeah, they were quite good.
They were
we'll have
really
to
good. Yeah,
tweet it out later so you guys can see. But it was pretty impressive.
They had good voices. I was like, can we please, like, maybe if there's a singing in the shower scene or something? Like, I just wanted them to sing in the show. Like, I was really, because I shouldn't say it's karaoke because they sang a cappella. So they were just singing.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know that it was karaoke.
Yeah, they were just singing a cappella, and it was amazing. They did a great job harmonizing, so you guys can check it out on his Instagram, and we'll post it up too if you guys want to see.
Yeah. I actually read an article, an interview with Don Johnson, who obviously we know he plays Hap. He was on Miami Vice for a long time, and Nash Bridges, and tons of other stuff. And he said that he's happy to return to another like big leading role and for a dramatic series. And he said, for me, it's kind of like putting on an old comfortable pair of blue jeans. Oh yeah, I know what this is. This is bring it and bring it now. Which is such I like his description of that. It's pretty cool. And it's like, obviously, he's a solid actor. He's done a ton, been around for a long time, and he's like, oh, this feels good. This is awesome. Let's do it. So I'm excited to see how his character opens up and just gets bigger as the season goes on.
Absolutely. They'd be smart to run with that.
Yeah.
I like it. I want to point out a few things that I saw briefly with the script for the show that kind of set the scene, that will give us a little bit more kind of a look inside the worlds in which the show takes place. It's very interesting. They say a millionaire each day is created in Bacan, with this area that they're drilling for oil. So I was like, okay, Chace or Billy is that person. They say the Chanel boutique was so crowded previously that you have to pull a number to get in, and the wait time is 35 minutes.
Wow.
And this is real life stuff.
Yes, this is real life stuff. Like right where the show takes place, of course, that they're, I believe, in a more fictionalized like location.
Right.
But in North Dakota, they say here the unemployment rate is 0. Like it's
crazy.
like this is all based around this oil field that you can see from outer space. It's all real stuff that the show is based around. So that's the world that these folks are either trying to make it in or coming from.
Well, Jules, even when she's meeting with Cody about renting the apartment, like this crappy apartment she has, she's like, it's $2,000 a month. You're like, what? Where are you? You're not in California.
Right, exactly.
or New York.
I know. That's like here.
Yeah, seriously. So it's, just puts that into perspective what these big oil towns and oil regions, like the kind of money that's coming out of there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look forward and predict of what's coming up this season and next.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ladies, do you have anything on your mind?
Gosh, I mean, we got a lot of kind of sneak peeks in the teaser, because the teaser we saw after the episode was for the whole season. So you see lots of drama happening. I'm really curious to see what Hap's daughter is like. I don't think she's gonna be all about the family business, and I think she could be kind of a, not voice of reason, but kind of like a thorn in his side a little bit to a certain extent. Obviously, like, still loves him, but I feel like she could kind of ruffle the feathers a little bit. Part of me has this feeling that Hap knows it was Wick, and like might like pull that card later in the game, be, you know, have some scheming going on of his own behind the scenes. Ooh. I don't really think that's gonna happen, but that's like been in my head a little bit.
That's smart. No, I like that. That's like, I would have respect for that. You know, I'd be like, oh,
respectable idea.
I'd be like, I no, for him to like pull that card and pretend he doesn't know, and use that as leverage. Yeah,
we'll see.
Good thinking.
That's all I've got.
They didn't show this in the previews, but I mean, they kind of did with Hap's daughter coming in. My thing is she going to try to break up any relationships, aka Billy and Cody?
Ooh.
Like, hey, Billy, I can, you know, do
well,
this
your
for your dad, or like,
sickness.
with pregnant and not in the rocking body that she used to have, you know, like, let me show you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hope she doesn't, because that would don't be a homewrecker, but.
Yeah.
I think an affair is very likely.
Yeah, they didn't show it in the previews with any couple, and I feel like that's kind of unlikely for this show. I feel like somebody's going to come in and wreck homes and wreck relationships, and I feel like it might be her.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, sorry to jump on more. I think that Darla, so Amber Valletta's character, I think with her interaction with the oil commissioner, obviously she's like charming and, you know, puffing up his ego, saying you could be the governor, like all this stuff. And obviously they have a lot of money, so they can put a lot of money into a campaign, back somebody, blah, 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 all that stuff. But I feel like she's got secrets on people, and she's got that dirt that she can use as leverage on a lot of people in the town. And I think we're going to see her play those
I would love that.
Cards down the road a lot.
Well, I predict that the rivalry between Billy and Wick is going to get really nasty. I think it's already almost there. And we saw shades of that tonight. It seems that we're laying the groundwork for a real, you know, knock 'em, sock 'em bad rivalry. So I'm curious to see what the relationship with Cody and Wick is going to be, because she's going to be kind of put in the middle of those two. And if they're, you know, in the same circle now, could be interesting. So I'm really curious to see what happens there with that rivalry. And it looks like this, I believe her name is Lacey, the sister. Is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, Lacey Briggs.
It looks like she is going to have a good rivalry with Darla. So I like that. I like that butting heads. I want to see more drama. And I want to keep my eye on this Jules character, because something has to be really in it for her to be, you know, kind of with Wick. I have a feeling that she's got some connections outside of this, you know, territory over here. So I'm going to see what her motives are coming up. So we have a lot to look forward to. What's up?
Yeah, I was just going to give a little shout out to our friends in the chat room tonight.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks guys for hanging in there. I know we started a few minutes late, so thank you so much for being patient and staying here and chatting with us. We've got Kelly, Chelsea M90. Who else? Let me scroll down a little bit. We were chatting a lot. Chris Hawkins, Sheena. Who else? I think Ma CJ. Thanks, guys, for chatting along with us, and hope you'll tune in next week, too.
Yeah, what's the temperature in there? What are they kind of saying? How are they feeling?
I think people liked it. People loved Barry Corbin, the old guy who was talking with Billy selling the land. People loved him, but it looks like he's only going to be on for 2 episodes, so bummer there. But yeah, I think people are liking it, and they kind of wanted to hear what we thought of the episode.
Gret. So, we delivered. I hope so.
I hope. We gave a good recap.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, so you can find us on all of the platforms here. You can find us, of course, on iTunes and YouTube. And please leave comments and rate us below. Let us know what you think, and perhaps we'll shout a few out. There's a lot to come with this show, and of course, a lot to come here on AfterBuzz TV. So keep checking us out. Ladies, where can we find you on Twitter and Instagram and on social media?
Once again, I'm Lauren Salaun. That's Salaun. And you can find me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere at Lauren Salaun. Pretty easy.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, all that stuff. I don't have Snapchat, but anyways, Annika Michelle 1, and then on my website, AnnikaMichelle.com.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants. And you can also check me out on my new podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. That'll do it for us. Our thanks to Alexis in the booth. And that'll do it for Blood and Oil, Episode 1, Pilot.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.